So I'm reading the book and looking up references to poets and kind of going through all of this. And there's an interesting story here of Uchud mac Luchta, a fictional character in medieval literature said alternately to have been king of South Connacht and of Munster. We read that he was a very generous man and had but one eye. When Aithne, Aithirne, when Aithrin visited his court, Uchud offered that importunate poet the choice of his wealth as a gift. Aithne demanded the only eye in his head to be given to me in my fist, and Uchud complied. He knocked the eye out with his own finger and presented it to the poet. He then asked his servant to direct him to water so that he might wash his face. The servant remarked that the socket, Dirk, was red, Jarrig, and from the blood, and Uchud said that the water should ever after be called Jarrig Dirk, hence Loch Dirk on the River Shannon. God was so impressed with the magnanimity of Uchud that he miraculously gave him two eyes as a reward. A variant of this story has Ferchne as the importunate poet rather than Earthne. It's the apparent that the motive is very old, it being an exemplary one to demonstrate how generous the true king should be to poets. It may have become attached to the deity Uchud on account of the solar imagery associated with that personage. Elsewhere there's a mention of a character called Uchud Einsul, or of the one eye. You can see probably where this is interesting and why I'm doing you a video that's 2 minutes long. But hey, it's me reading you stories. You like this kind of stuff. And there can be little doubt that Uchud mac Luchta was a character invented from the debris of the cult of that deity. The later medieval literature gives a further twist to the story. Here we read that a Munster king, Uchud mac Malora, plucked out his eye to satisfy the extortionate demand of a Scottish druid named Lawan. Saint Rudon, who witnessed this, prayed to God that the druid's two eyes should pass into the head of the king, and so it happened. Thus the king acquired the nickname Súil Lawan, and from him was derived the Munster family, surnamed O'Sullivan. This version is quite anachronistic with regard to the characters, connecting it to the 6th century Rudon agus Súil Duvan mac Malorga, who flourished in the late 19th century. The name Súil Duvan in fact meant dark-eyed, and a false etymology Súil Awan, one eye, led to the claim that his real name was Uchud, and also the invention of a character named Lawan. So, interestingly enough, randomly whilst looking up poets, I found reference to O'Sullivans and Rudon being the son of Bridget, making Rudon the grandson of the Dagda, but also the deity Uchud, the cult of the deity Uchud, being Dagda as well. So, yeah. Every time I read this book and look stuff up, it gets kind of a little bit odd. But yes and no. And then I'm like, remembering the story I wrote, the apology not accepted, and him referring to me as son, or me and him engaging all of her and Vic. So who knows? There you go.